Alright, I've got my axle here and I'm just going to wipe it down real quick just to make sure there's no dirt and grease and grime all over it. So that feels pretty good, and we're just going to slide it on in here. I need to go over to the carrier. Oh, there we go. Oh, it fell right in there. And that's it, just like that. So now the axle's in, and I can go ahead and get the little spider gears in, at least for this side. So you can see when I push the axle in, it pushed this gear out. So all you have to do is kind of just wiggle and jiggle it and get it lined up. See how it just fell right in there? So I need to push. Now watch right there when I push the axle in. See how it slid in, and you can see that groove right there. That's where one of these C-clips goes in. So I'll show you how that goes. Just like that. Oops. We'll put it in from the top down there for now. And yeah, so we'll be ready to get the other. Make sure that's up like that so it stays in there. So we'll need to slide that in place, and we might even be able to get this lower little spider gear in there while everything is loose and apart. Have to work on getting the timing right, if you want to call it that. Looks like I got it off. All right, need to go over a little bit more with that, and it looks pretty good, just like that. So next up is the let's see, actually I might be off one tooth still. I'll play with that here in a little bit, but anyways, that's how you get it back together. Then I'll go get the other side done, and then we'll put the rear end back together. I got the other side of the brakes rebuilt over here, and I went ahead and slid the passenger side axle in, and you can see I've got this pin in here, and there's a paint marker I had put on there when I took it apart, so I'll get that all lined up here in just a second. But I wanted to show you real quick, inside of here there's a little washer, a little cupped washer that goes between this gear and the carrier, and then obviously this pin goes in there, and then a washer over here on this side too with this other gear. And I went ahead and got my C-clip on this side, and I've got the C-clip on that side. So this is ready to go back together. Oop, the pin just fell out. Well, it's alright, we'll get it all lined back up. But yeah, let me get that back in there, and then I got to get the bolt in right here, that 1/4-inch headed long bolt that holds that pin in, that holds this whole puzzle thing together. So let me get this together and get that started. It's hard to do one-handed, so let me get that. I've got the brake rotors on here, and I got the brakes adjusted with the little star adjuster nut that's inside of this little window right here, and you just spread it out there until it, you know, contacts the drum part of the rotor. But I'm going to clean out the inside of this housing here. You can kind of see, I'll get kind of some of this. You see how silver, I don't know if you can see that, but it's really silver from that old bearing that came out of there. So I'm going to try to clean out as much of this as I can, and maybe flush it out with some brake cleaner or something. And then I need to scrape the surface here, get that cleaned up. And I went ahead and cleaned up the cover. I just scraped that, and I used some brake cleaner to get it, you know, kind of cleaned up a little bit. But Yeah, I need to also put a little, I'll put this in here temporarily. I need to put a little Loctite on here just so it, you know, it doesn't vibrate out or anything anytime soon. And yeah, and then we'll be ready to put some gear oil in there. I've got everything cleaned up, and I went ahead and removed that bolt pin right here, and here it is. And I went ahead and cleaned it off with some brake cleaner, and I blew some inside of this hole right here, and that's going to clean the threads out. So what I've got here is some Loctite 243, it says, and that's the blue medium strength. So I'm gonna use that on the threads when I put it back in there. All right, got my Loctite on there, so let's put that back in there. And this looks like it's a 12 point little head there, so it's not exactly a, well, I mean, it's a 1/4 inch, but it's a 12 point 1/4 inch. So I've got a you know, 12 point box end wrench, well, combination wrench. But anyway, so yeah, I'm gonna get this tightened in there, and then I'm gonna come back with the cover and the gasket and put that on there. I got my little bolt tightened down there, and made sure I had everything cleaned out, you know, and it's completely clean in there. And then I kind of rotated everything around to make sure there wasn't any binding or dirt that I might have missed, and I've got everything nice and clean in there. And let's see here, yeah, so you can see everything looks good. Here's the gasket I'm going to use. It's this RDS 13089. That says it's for the Dana 35, but I ordered it from Advanced Auto Parts on their website, and they fixed me right up. So I'm gonna get some a little bit of the, I think I have some red gasket sealer, and I'm gonna put that on here just to make sure I don't have any leaks. All right, here goes the cover, and one final check. Yeah, got my bolt in. All the everything spins free. It's not gritty and rough sounding, so I'm good. Let's do it. Now on this Dana 35, obviously this part here goes to the left, or driver's side, and to accommodate the ring gear. But I've got my bolts here. I'm going to start at the top, somewhere over here, maybe. Yep, here we go. So I'll get that one in, get that started, then come over here. I'll put one down here to hold everything in place for me. And then I've got my little label here that says my axle ratios, gear ratios and everything. So that went right here. And then this one. Yep, and then just put the rest of your bolts in and tighten them down. And they are all the same length, so shouldn't have any problem with that. So this is kind of what I ended up doing. I just shoved the bottle in there, squeezed out what I could, and then squeezed the rest in like that. And I think I'll try to double the bottles up or something and try to, yeah. So what I'll do now is, I'll put some, I'll just fill this the rest of the way up, or with what's left in here, and then do that same process again. Not quite. Might need to get another bottle of this and squeeze her on in there. See if I can get it like this. There we go. Oh yeah, we got quite a bit in there that time. Let's see where we're at. Oh yeah, there it is. It's right there. So I filled it up enough to get all the way to there. Don't want to forget your rubber plug. I went ahead and cleaned up the inside of it real nice, and now I'm just going to snap it back on there. You can get these replacement ones on online or through your auto parts store. I've seen them at my local auto parts stores. Alright, well that filled up all that. Let's get the rest of it together. I've got my brake caliper bracket right here, and there's two threaded holes right here. Well, one here and one here. And the way the caliper goes on there is just like this. This is what I had to do to get it off, but nonetheless. So yeah, the pads go around. Pads go around this top part where it kind of clips in there, and then make sure these bolts are all the way out. Or go ahead and take them out, and get that top in there first, and then the bottom should follow. Just like that. And then make sure your bushings that the caliper slides on are out of the way. So that's got that. And then your bolts go back in. These are just 1/2 inch head bolts. You might need to wiggle and jiggle the caliper a little bit to get your holes to line up. But it feels like that one's started there on the top. I want to start them by hand and not with an air gun or something, because you might strip it out. Then you got your ratchet here. Alright, just get those tight enough there. Then there, everything spins nice. I'm going to get all these started by hand, but I'm going to use an impact to finish them off. At least get them the wheel halfway lined up there. Nice. Okay. Alright guys, well thanks for watching, and hopefully you learned something, and we'll see you next time.